Hey, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops, a great millstone. It's your brother, Rabbi Knapp. About to get into a lesson. Lord's will is edifying. As a matter of fact, let me share my screen. Got a couple, I'm just going to go in the spirit. I wanted to start with Michelle Wu. Because she, about a week ago, she went into Capitol Hill and they grilled her with a bunch of questions. Then she came back to Boston and she had a speech, and then Donald Trump and the White House had a response to it. So it's something that I've been watching, and I only watched a little bit of it. I'm going to go through it. Let me see. This is it here.
The mayor said Boston was a city under attack by this federal administration, and tonight the White House is pouncing on that.
Boston doesn't back down.
The White House seizing on Boston Mayor Michelle Wu for her State of the City address. She pledged to defend Boston against the Trump administration.
No one tells Boston how to take care of our own. Not kings and not presidents who think they are kings.
In a press release, the Trump administration called the mayor a radical and cited examples of...
You see, talking about them kings, man. And that's exactly what he is. Okay. And that's what we think he is, at least. Okay. Isaiah 19, verse 4, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. Okay, so that cruel Lord is Duck, man, who's going to bring about the MOTB, these World War III, all of these things. Okay, it's going to be a accumulation of everything that needs to be fulfilled. We believe he's that guy. Okay, that cruel king that's going to bring forth the Lord's will.
ICE arrests in Boston. It asks, why is Mayor Wu intent on defying the will of the American people and obstructing the Trump administration?
Exactly. Why is she doing that? Shouldn't she, she had Ash Wednesday, she had ash on her forehead, so she should know that, you got to listen to the authorities. It's all up to the authorities. She doesn't have any power over who's in authority. But this is all a show. But, hey, if we can use it as a chance to bring forth some scriptures, we're going to do that. It's the book of Romans, chapter 13:1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher power. She's just the mayor of Boston. Okay, he's the president of the United States, and you going against him? What's going on here? But there's no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God, okay, or the Heavenly Father. He ordains these people to be in the positions that they are. Even Michelle Wu. Okay, whosoever therefore resisteth the power resisteth the ordinance of God, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. Okay, so these things, you asking for it. You don't nearly have as much resources to go against the president. Okay, for rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Will thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. And I do believe that this is all going to orchestrate into some form of rebellion that they're going to use you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to fight. I truly believe that. This is Boston, Massachusetts. I never looked at Boston. We have a pretty, it looks like a functioning system, but it's very fragile. And it seems like, you always think, people in Texas, their gun laws, they'll be the first to rebel, but it's Boston. Boston will fight, man. I can see it. It's 100%. Okay, these other states, I thought down south was more strong, but and I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying that the way history repeats itself, they can rouse up people. Look at the Civil War. What happened? they put the slaves to fight, and in the South lost. Okay, even though they might think now everyone is, all these cities is different ideologies. Everyone's, right next to each other. That's and it's prophesied for these things to happen. Okay, civil war, civil unrest, fighting up against the powers that be. Romans 13:4. For he is the minister of God to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid. Yeah, if you protesting and getting all involved in politics, your mind should be on the kingdom to come. Okay, you should be single-minded, not trying to be in this world. Because if you are in this world, you're going to be of the world and be doing things of the world, and that's going to get you closer to your destruction. Just like not too long ago with those Mexican protests in LA, they were in the middle of the streets, blocking up the highways. People need to get to certain positions. You could have, someone could have got killed. Okay. For he beareth not the sword in vain, for he is the minister of God, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. Okay. Yeah, and if you're pretty much going against the powers, you're going against the Lord. This is what this is saying. Be subject to government. She's creating that rebellious spirit that's going to get you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans involved in this. But I know she's well liked in the city, but it's all for your destruction. Okay. Wherefore ye must needs be subject, not only for wrath, but also for conscience sake. Yeah, in your conscience, if you're wicked, you should be afraid, man. But if you serving the Lord, there's really nothing to be afraid about. All you need to do is watch how the Lord's doing this. That's you need to keep your mind occupied on how he's doing it and just measuring the times diligently. So you're not caught off guard like the rest of the world. Half of the people, they're not caring about these things. Neither are they. It's so hard to follow politics in what's going on locally, nationally, and then globally. Those are the three things you really want to focus on right now. If you live in the states of Boston, Chicago, New York, Denver, those four are on high. They're on Duck's naughty list for these sanctuary cities because they're not cooperating with him. That's why he's hitting you hard with ICE raids right now. And he's looking for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and he's sending you outside of this country. Okay, now we're talking about this is a global thing. Okay, they're sending you to Guantanamo Bay, El Salvador. All right. Romans 13:6. For this cause pay ye tribute also, for they are God's ministers, attending continually upon this very thing. Render therefore all their dues, tribute to whom tribute is due, custom to whom custom, fair to whom fair, honor to whom honor. Okay. So that's pretty much all I wanted to bring about that.
Efforts to remove these monsters from our streets.
She says Boston is for everyone. That's kind of her big slogan, but it seems like it's for that includes illegal immigrants who have committed.
Look at this. White House attacks Mayor Wu as radical in response to defiant state of the city speech. So this is the White House going against a mayor. Where's the governor at? At least she's nowhere to be seen in any of this that's going on. Michelle Wu's getting the burden of all this placed upon her. So clearly the Lord's using her because that's what y'all Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, y'all like following the woman, man. Okay? But you ain't supposed to. And let me grab it. And you got to know these scriptures because they're going to save a lot of your lives, man, following the Lord. 1 Timothy 2. In verse 12, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. She's not in silence. She's out of order. She's a Catholic. Okay. So they don't teach these things, man. They believe in a false god, idols. So you don't want to be following somebody like that. They're going to lead you to your destruction. You got to know what the Bible says. This is why we bring it out.
crimes.
This month, the mayor testified at a hearing on sanctuary cities in Washington. Last night, she made a veiled reference to border czar Tom Homan, who promised to
And this devil right here, man. Oh yeah,
bring hell to Boston.
see, he's talking about bringing hell. Notice that word hell, okay? Because I have another thing where they keep saying it. So Tom Homan saying it. Duck said it not too long ago. I think he said that to he threatened Iran with hell. He's an Edomite speaking, man. They're all saying that same thing. Okay. So clearly, you know, they're up to something.
395 years, come high water or hell, no matter who threatens to bring it, Boston has stood up for the people we love and the country we built.
Boston police won't hold immigrants to be possibly deported unless there is a criminal warrant. A 2017 Supreme Judicial Court decision says cities don't have the power to hold someone only based on a civil detainer.
I don't think it's a wise move to pick a fight with the federal government who has it already out for you.
Now, in a statement, the mayor says, "I'm glad that the White House watched the speech, but Boston's record does not match their reckless propaganda." The mayor again calling Boston the safest major city in America. We're live outside Boston City Hall. Sharman Saketi, WCVB News Center 5.
Yeah, so
when you shop in
that's what we need to be paying attention to. Because I do believe that these sanctuary cities are going to be used to get you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans into some shit, man. Now she don't like listen to. She said no king, no nothing like that. Hey, you got to listen to the king, man. Okay, you might not like him, but that's who the Lord wants to be in power. Let me grab this. This is the book of Proverbs 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. So he's controlling the mind of Duck to do these things, to start with East. He started with that ICE raid in East Boston. Okay. So if he's in that position of power, the Lord set him up to be in that position of power. Ecclesiastes 8:4, where the word of a king is, there's power. And who may say unto him, what doest thou? That's what she's saying. Where the word of a king is, there's power. If he tells you, hey, you need to negotiate with this, that, and the third, hey, you need to negotiate. You think you have more power than him? And then you're going to lead people to follow you? That's leading people to their own destruction. Okay? This is the book of First Ezra. Let's go there. You got to listen to the king, man. Especially if you're underneath him. First Ezra chapter 4 and verse 1. It says, and Josiah's had the hold on, Salakia. Is this chapter 4? This is no. Chapter 4 and verse 1, Salakia. It says, then the second that had spoken of the strength of the king began to say, O ye men, do not men excel in strength that bear rule over sea and land and all things in them? So here's some servants trying to make a case to show how wise they are. And they're saying that the king and his power is like the most powerful. Okay. But there's some wisdom in what they were saying. But yet the king is more mighty, for he is Lord of all these things and have dominion over them. And whatsoever he commanded them, they do. So when he said he's going to bring hell, they're going to do that. Okay. He got Tom Homan fighting the cartel in Mexico. What do you think they can do to Boston, man? They can turn this place upside down if you really want to fight. How are you going to fight up against a power like that? You're going to have to arm them. Other than talking, it's not going to work. If thee bid them make war, the one against the other, they do it. Yeah, he can make war, and he's been making war. He's been doing that since he got in office. As a matter of fact, last time he was here, he destroyed a general. Okay, that was of Iran. All right. So who was Mayor Wu calling her a radical? He can get rid of you. Okay. If he send them out against the enemies, they go and break down mountains, walls, and towers. And that's what they did when they came here. He gave the decree, and they didn't transgress it. They came and got who they came to get. They slay and are slain and transgress not the king's commandment. Yeah, ICE, they're not going to transgress Donald Duck's commandment. They're going to do exactly what he said. They're going to go door to door. Excuse me, where's Jose? Okay. Where is, I can't even think of a Haitian dude's name. Where's Vincent at? Okay. They're going to get you. If they get the victory, they bring all to the king as well as the spoil as all things else. Yeah, and that's the point of being a king, man. He sends them to war, to battle, to get what he wants them to get. Likewise, for those that are no soldiers and have not to do with wars, but use husbandry. When they have reaped again that which they have sown, they bring it to the king and compel one another to pay tribute unto the king. And that's what she's not doing. He wants tariffs to go up. He wants people to pay more. He wants to stop funding going to your Department of Education. That's what he's going to do. He was voted in for that. Okay. And if that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. So this money that's not going to these schools, hey, these schools, some of these schools are going to be shut down, man. They're not going to be able to sustain without funding. And that's all his wealth. He don't want them to be up. They're causing too much. You ain't teaching anybody anything. Look at the people that you see today. I saw this lady. People are stupid, man. Okay. And people are funding it. I'm all for it. Get rid of it. Likewise, for those that are no soldier. I read that. Verse 7. And yet he is but one man. If he commanded to kill, they kill. If he commanded to spare, they spare. So this is why you need to be afraid. Okay. He has the power to kill. He bears not the sword in vain. He's Esau. All right. And he's ruling over you. You read the book of Daniel 4:17. It's the Lord who set up the basis of men to bring forth his wrath, lock y'all up, and do all these other things. If he commanded to smite, they smite. Smite means to kill, strike. Okay. If he command to make desolate, they make desolate. If he command to build, they build. So if he wants to make Boston desolate or build it, it's up to him. If he command to cut down, they cut down. If he wants to cut this place down, he can cut it down. If he commanded to plant, they plant. So all his people and his armies obey him. What army does she have to be talking the way she does? Clearly, these sanctuaries have some form of an army in this immigration in these sanctuary cities, these gangs that they're protecting. Okay. Furthermore, he lieth down, he eateth and drinketh and taketh his rest. And these keep watch round about him. Yeah, so when Duck's sleeping, he still got things being watched. He gets up, hey, they took, she brushed it. He probably got all type of insight watching her. She's already under investigation under Capitol Hill. If you didn't know that, your mayor is under investigation by the government. Okay, because she couldn't answer questions on how she's spending your tax-paying dollars. All right, and she's spending supposedly a lot of money on these immigrants that don't even belong here, supposedly. Okay, and they're deporting people who've been here over 30 years. So where's the protection at? Neither may anyone depart and do his own business, neither disobey they him in anything. Yeah, the people who watch over this place, they're not going to disobey Duck when he tells them to go. Okay, and if he wants to lock her up, just like in Turkey, they locked up a politician going against Erdogan, the president of Turkey. Hey, his enemy's locked up right now. People are protesting about it. Hey, what can you do, man? O ye men, how should not the king be mightiest when in such sort he is obeyed and he held his tongue? So, hey, man, he's mighty. All right. But oh, let's go over here. Let's see what's. This is in Yemen. The Houthis. Israel resumes military operations in Gaza after 2-month ceasefire with Hamas. So it is.
The Israeli military says it's intercepted launched from Yemen by Iranian-backed Houthi rebels. That's according to reports from Reuters. And the projectile had reportedly been heading towards Jerusalem. The White House says President Trump, quote, fully.
So this is the weak saying I am strong by shooting against this place. Israel's backed by America, man. Okay. And if he feels that they can shoot missiles over here, they don't have any nuclear capability. They don't have anything. They got drones, though. That's a new, hey, this is modern warfare. Okay. This is how we fight nowadays. This is the type of tech that's out there. Isaiah 9:5, for every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire, because they have missiles. Okay. Burning and fuel of fire. Isaiah 9:19. Through the wrath of the Lord of hosts is the land darkened, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire. No man shall spare his brother. So destruction, and you people are going to be as the fuel of the fire. Okay. Ezekiel, where are you? That's Ezra. Ezekiel 32 and 27. And they shall not lie with the mighty that are. Actually, let me start at 26. Okay. It says, there is Meshach, Tubal, and all her multitude. Her graves are round about him, all of them uncircumcised, slain by the sword, though they cause their terror in the land of the living. And they shall not lie with the mighty that are fallen of the uncircumcised, which are gone down to hell with their weapons of war. Okay, so they shall. So the reason I'm bringing this out, because, you know, back then we fought with swords, spears, you know, shields, arrows. But this is saying that, and they shall not lie with the mighty that are fallen of the uncircumcised. Yeah, these heathen, you're not going to fall with the mighty, the honorable people, okay, who fight in battles. You're going to die the death of the uncircumcised, which are gone down to hell with their weapons of war. Yeah, the mighty, you go in the grave with your weapons of war. And they have laid their swords under their heads. That's an honorable way of putting somebody down on the ground. Just like Esau, he might wrap your casket with the American flag, shoot in the air, and, you know, have like military, everyone's dressed up. You know, that's an honorable burial. But their iniquity shall be upon their bones, though they were the terror of the mighty in the land of the living. Yea, thou shalt be broken in the midst of the uncircumcised, and shall lie with them that are slain with the sword. There is Edom, her kings, and all her princes, which with their might are laid by them that were slain by the sword. They shall lie with the uncircumcised, and with them that go down to the pit. So just Edom, the head of the heathen, you're just gonna be just slaughtered, slain. Okay. Ultimately, for the birds to come pick at your bodies. That's the death of the uncircumcised, man, the heathen. Okay. Not a mighty death. Not buried. Okay. That's how you're going to die. Messing with these dudes, man. But let me get this.
Actions in Gaza after the IDF resumed ground operations in the war-torn territory yesterday. They
resumed ground operations. Okay. Ceasefire is over. 2 months. That's not a long time. 60 days. These ceasefires are not as long as you look at the Cold War. Look how long that was. Okay. Now it's starting to heat back up. Just like these ceasefires. It's like a timeout. It's not even, they're back ready to go. And they come out with so much strength, with so much power that it's like you're not even going to remember there was a ceasefire. You're going to feel like it never even happened. They were rejoicing over it, and it's only been 2 months.
Military says it is targeting Hamas infrastructure and weapon sites and has vowed to, quote, open the gates of hell in Gaza.
Oh, there go to that word hell again. Tom Homan saying that about Michelle Wu. Israel saying that about Hamas. So they opening up the gates of hell. It's a common theme in the Edomite's mouth. Okay.
Remaining hostages aren't returned, and Prime Minister Netanyahu's demands aren't met. Now, as a response, Hamas fired its first wave of rockets at Israel in months. Israeli officials say no casualties have been reported.
Hamas should be destroyed, but yet they're still here. What is going on? Okay. What is going on? As a matter of fact, Salak, I forgot to get a... I'm not even going to grab all of them, but I'm going to grab at least one to show you that the scriptures, there's war coming, man. You know, let me just grab it though. Mark 3:24, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. Okay, so just like Michelle Wu and Donald Duck and Tom Homan, these are higher ups at odds with each other. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. So if everyone's divided against each other eternally, how can that house stand? And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. Exactly, man. These Russians and Americans, both Edomites, they can't get along with each other. This house, meaning the whole world, is divided, man. More so globally, locally, in all aspects of it, man. They're just divided. And this is Esau against himself, man. Fighting up against himself, literally. Okay? These people have all the nukes. They can hold the whole world hostage with the capabilities that they have, but they're at odds with each other. It's all the Lord. Proverbs 21:1. Okay? No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man and then he will spoil his house. So that's what they're trying to do, man. They're trying to bind each other, but they can't, because the Lord is going to make sure that his will is what's being done down here. They're gonna destroy each other. Well, they're gonna fight until the Lord comes back. Okay, let me get this in the NLT. Mark 3:24. A kingdom divided by civil war will collapse. And that's what I'm saying. This is what's going to happen. It's going to collapse. All right. Let's bring that back to the KJV. And I want to jump over to...
Reported.
Yeah, is this Hamas? I mean, Louis Vuitton. I mean, does Hamas live in here? I don't see. Where are they at? Like these people, and then they end up living inside of this rubble. Okay, so someone who's willing to live inside of here, someone like that can't be defeated. Okay, you can't defeat. You don't have no home. You don't have any food. You don't have any water. All you have is to fight. And that's the best type of soldier, man. Okay. This right here, air strikes, you ain't got no type of, you don't have air control power in the air. They're just destroying you. Yet you're still there. And the Lord's using them. The Lord don't need nobody to he can work with a little bit. You don't need a whole bunch of people. Okay. You know, he's done that in the book of Judges with Gideon, the 300. He's done that with that angel who he killed, slayed 185,000. That was one angel. So he likes using smaller numbers. And the Lord's setting this up to be this way because that's what he does. Okay. Book of Ezekiel 28, verse number 7. He says, behold, therefore, I will bring strangers upon thee. Actually, let me start 28:6. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of the heavenly Father. Behold, therefore, I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. Okay, because with all of these attacks, they should have been destroyed. Okay, they should have been wiped off. The hell, you've been bringing them hell for years now. This isn't a new thing with them. Okay, but I wanted to grab this word strangers. Okay, it's Zer. Okay, and it means stranger, foreigner, and enemy. Okay, this is the type of people that are coming up against him. All right, foreigners, enemies. Let me grab this word. Adversaries. That's exactly what they are. 1 Kings 11:14. And the Lord stirred up an adversary unto Solomon, Hadad the Edomite. He was of the king's seed in Edom. Okay, so that's what the Lord would do, man. When he's pretty much done with you, he starts raising up adversaries against thee. Okay, just like he's doing in Ezekiel. Okay, to the prince of Tyre, because his heart was lifted up. Ezekiel 28:8. They shall bring thee down to the pit. Hold on, you saying you bringing hell, but this is saying they're gonna bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. And he's already attacking you in the seas also too. Okay, this is the Lord doing. See? War crimes. No one's caring, man. Why? Hostages over there fighting. He's the one who resumed it, not them. So does that mean what does that mean about these hostages? Okay. Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. So he don't even have time. 2 months ceasefire. Hurry up, get in there, blow this up, kill this, kill that. He don't care, man. All right, they don't want to negotiate. Then let's just keep fighting. Okay. Woo. hypersonic. These fired a hypersonic missile. I mean, are we hearing what's going on here? This is crazy. Joel 3:9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. He got hypersonic missiles. Am I hearing that correctly? Hold on. I know he said, let me just double check. Let the weak say I'm strong. Okay. When you go back into Ezekiel, when it says the terrible of the nations, that's what I forgot to look up. Okay. But you know what? Let's go to Ezekiel 30. In verse number 11. We'll start at 10. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I will also make the multitude of Egypt to seize by the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. So it is Egyptians and Babylonians, okay? Two heathen nations. And he said he's going to use the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, okay, against the multitude of Egypt. He said he'll make the multitude of Egypt to seize by the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. So this is two heathens. He and his people with him, the terrible of the nations, shall be brought to destroy the land, and they shall draw their swords against Egypt and fill the land with the slain. Okay, so the Lord's using foreigners to invade another land, a foreign land. Okay, and it says the terrible of the nations. Let's look at this word terrible. It says terror striking, terrifying, ruthless, mighty. Okay. Terrifying, causing fear. Okay. This is the type of violent, fierce. This is what violent nations. This is what's coming, man. You don't get no worse than, and then Salakia. Okay. I'll say it again, Salakia. Aritz, okay, terror striking, awesome, terrifying, ruthless, okay. And you go into the Jusinius Hebrew Chaldee lexicon, it says terrifying, causing fear, okay, in a bad sense, violent, fierce, violent nations, okay. These are the people that the Lord will use against another nation. They don't even need, just so he can show his power, showing you this him. Because the Lord said he's going to have war with Amalek from generation. This is an representation of that. Him having war with Amalek. Okay. It's a lot. See, Salakia. I'm not even getting any sound. See, Salakia. Okay. I'm not even getting the sound on this. This is why, I try to use YouTube, but sometimes you can't use too many videos. But I'm going to end it right here. Lord's will, that was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rachak Kodash. Shalom.